Here I am. So a little bit more feet, well, legs. This is my favorite form, the pre-heaven form. It's in Buddhism, they talk about the first time you learnt about a concept being your seed. This was my seed of Qigong. We got taught this in 1985, and I have done it. I certainly did it every day for about 20 years, and then I started learning other forms, and I don't necessarily do this form every day, but I've done it an awful lot. So 10,000 times. So it has developed as I've been doing it, and I've been teaching it every Thursday since lockdown. So if you want to do it online, you can always come to my online class. Not for the next 3 weeks, though. So the pre-heaven form doesn't have a warm-up, so have a little jiggle and a shake or anything you want to do to be ready to come into the form. The reason I love this form so much is it covers the main energetic anatomy of the body. So, which is why I've been able to do it for so long. It's taught me such a lot about how the qi is in the body. It starts like this. You just let the hands float up and come to rest on the belly. Sort of thumbs on the waistband, sort of palms below the belly button, but more important, be comfortable. Let your shoulders be soft. Try and keep a little bit of space under your shoulders, and I'll talk about that more later. The first thing is called Mingmen breathing, or gate of life breathing, and it's a belly breath. You want to breathe in, the energy comes into the belly, but it also comes into the belly at the back. This whole balloon of qi in what my yoga teacher calls the big pants area. And you breathe in, you feel the gate of life, the waist at the back filling and the front filling. So breathe in, and as you breathe out, that energy just contracts into this hip chalice. And smile, and just do that in your own breath rhythm. As you're breathing in, having a sense that you're filling this whole area, particularly a sort of star at the waist, at the back, the gate of life, the portal of vitality, governing vessel 4, Mingmen, many names. It's the place you get your epidural, if you've ever had one, because it is the gate of life. It knocks out the whole of your legs if it's interrupted by some anesthetic. As we do this breathing, big belly breathing, there's a murmur that goes with this form. Quiet mind, pure, clean qi, makes long life. We who smile stay young at heart. We are air, we are light, and we're water flowing with the tide. It's shifted a bit as different ways. I think we first used to say, quiet mind, pure qi. We who smile stay young. So I've read in a book somewhere the other translation, which is lovely. Quiet mind, pure, clean qi, makes long life. We who smile stay young at heart. We are air and light. We are water flowing with the tides. So not just the tides of the sea, the tides of time, the tides of the heavens. So we've just gone past the strawberry moon. Here we are, Thursday, June. So we're right in the high tide of the light. Just going into the tide moving out of the moon. I don't know what the tide in the sea is doing. I haven't seen it today. Another big deep breath into Mingmen, into your gate of life at the back. And ready for form 1. Big breath in, reach to the sky, reach to the heavens. Breathe out as you swirl your arms forward, release the shoulders as much as you want. Breathe in from the horizon in front of you and bring that energy into your lungs. If you want to tap the lungs, that's okay. And push the hands down back to back as though you're clearing through these central channels. So the first form is a healing form. It's part of the healing form tradition. And we draw the chi up from the earth. I lift my insteps here. I'll do it again. I will do it a few times. Reach to the sky, swirling your arms and having a sense of the sky and the earth meeting, maybe in the sea over there. And then drawing that chi from the horizons in, diving through all the central channels, whatever you know, the whole column of light, and then drawing chi up from the earth. So there was a bit more of a complicated movement with the knees, but our physio told us it wasn't very sensible. So lift the instep, draw the chi up through the legs into the belly, into the lower dantian, into your big pants area. If you know it well enough and you want to do it faster or slower, please do. Always do the qigong that suits you. That has to be the first thing. Then we shine up the vehicle together. So I probably know the form best because I've done it for so long, but there'll be bits of it that I miss out because it doesn't suit my body. Breathe into the lungs. Breathe out through the center. So this is our first movement. We're really getting a sense of cleaning. So sometimes I'm putting it on here because it's the end of the day and I've done this a few times today, but I might do this sort of movement or this sort of movement, clearing the channel. If that's happening for you, do it. Lift your insteps, bring the earth chi up through the legs into the belly. Let's do 3 more. Reach to the sky. Gather the chi. Breathe it in. Clear the central channels. Activate the central channels. Gather the chi from earth. Imagine it coming deep into the dantian, through all the channels in the legs. 2 more, this one. Heaven's chi. Chi from the horizons. Breathe it in. Dive down deep. Gather that in. Last one. Oh, you can do another one if you want. Add it in. Always make it work for you. And if you've only got a few minutes, just do one of each. When you're ready, you circle the hands and the hands come to rest back on the dantian. And it really references bringing the chi inside the physical body. This is why it's such a healing form, because everyone can move the chi out here. Yes, everyone. But what we want to do is let that chi be shined up by heaven and earth and come to connect with us. Small cycle of breathing. From here, you release the arms, release the shoulders. Keep space under the armpit. We've got this lovely heart 1 point under the armpit, and there's a bit of a hollow in the armpit. My teacher always said, keep space for a robin's egg, which is just a tiny egg. And I went to a Qigong class a week ago, and the teacher said, she read a book as a child where the child who was in the story kept fairies under her armpits in the cavities. Since that day, which is only a week ago, I've been imagining fairies under my armpits. Anything that suits you, but don't squeeze your arms close to the body. Enough space for the chi to move. Down the arms, out the palms. The center of the palm, sort of where your middle finger touches, so include the thumb in the palm. Palace of calm, palace of anxiety, place where we release anxiety. Breathe out down the arms, out through the palms. Small cycle of breathing. As you breathe in, you imagine breath coming into the belly, into the spine, up the back. As you breathe out, really make an effort to let the shoulder blades drop down the back. The more you do that, the more the shoulders can relax. Open the shoulders out towards the horizons, keeping space so those fairies stay alive. Breathe out through the palms and smile. We who smile stay young at heart. And it's about getting your vehicle working. So whatever vehicle you need to get to, where are you going? To healthy chi? Your vehicle needs to be in good condition. Breathe out through the palms. Ready for form 2. So we circle the hands, gather the chi, breathe out through the palms, gather the chi from the small cycle of breathing into the lower dantian, into your belly. Release the hands and the hands stay facing behind you. Step out one side, breathe in, and you imagine the chi coming up the back to the crown and maybe a little bit higher than the crown. When you're ready to breathe out, you imagine the breath going down the spine to both heels, to both feet. And you do it twice. Breathe in, breathe out. Some of you know this quite well already. If you do, please do it with your breath, not mine. Smile, breathe in, raise the chi to the crown. Breathe out, descend the chi to the heels. Breathe in, raise the chi to the crown. Breathe out, descend the chi. And step. Quite often when I'm doing this form, I think of you, Jane. That beautiful metaphor of the wind blowing across the cornfield. So as we breathe in, we raise the chi, and obviously the body doesn't move, but the chi is like the wind in the grass or the wind on the lake, rippling across, activating the body, stirring it up. I'm going to do 2 more each side. So I'm stepping back. Breathe in, raise the chi. So this is really good for the water meridians and also the central yang. It's also good for courage, bringing courage into the body, good for our willpower, all these walking forms. So if you can do, if you can walk across a room, walk along the shoreline, it's a really great way to do this form. And I'm going to do this one and one more. And I'm just going to talk about the stepping. Your best Tai Chi step, you want to try and keep the bubbling spring, the soul, connected to the earth. So I sort of roll my foot around, and because I started talking about it, I couldn't do it. My last one, a semicircle step, raise the chi, descend the chi. Raise the chi, descend the chi. Step back to where you want to be. Circle the hands, and traditionally it's hand over hand on the belly, but quite often I rub my kidneys or hold the lower back because we're really activating the water energy, the kidneys, the Mingmen point. And release. Release the shoulders. Breathe out down the arms. Breathe out through the palms. Breathe out through the palace of calm. And smile. I meant to pick a rose. The next form is going to be for the front of the body. So release your shoulders. Let's do 3 more breaths, breathing out through the palms, or about that. Smile and breathe. One more breath, breathing out through the palms. And you should sort of feel, there's no shoulds. You might sort of feel chi in the palms. And so as we do this movement, hand over hand on the belly, you're receiving that purified chi from the small cycle of breathing. Form 3, for the front of the body, you imagine your fingers in the earth, bringing the chi up the legs, into the root chakra, into your base, into Hu Yin. Something comes up the very front of the body, around the throat, around sort of fingers at the chin, your hand makes a beautiful flower shape, which is partly why I wanted a rose. Soften, ready to reach into the sky, lift. If you're going to lift onto your balls of your feet, that's good. I can't do it very easily, so I'll just take my heels off the ground. Swirl the hands, gather this chi in. I say this about lots of the forms. This is one of my favorite forms, partly because of making a flower. Me and flowers, I love them. Got an orchid here on my mantelpiece, which smells divine. I wish I could put the smell on the Zoom. The other reason I love this form is this bit. You bring the hands from back to back, all the way to back the other way, which I can't do very well anymore, but you spiral them back in. And it's about making these helixes, these coils of chi. Spiral the hands this way, keep spiraling up to heaven, gather the chi, draw the chi of heaven in, spiraling it in the other way. So the double helix. So we're bringing chi into the body and right into the depth of the body, into the DNA. All the most yin aspects of the body. And we're activating the front, the earth meridians, the yin meridians, activating the throat chakra, the only Qigong form that actually references the throat chakra that I know of. Dive into the earth, bring the chi up, make a beautiful flower shape, soften, ready to spiral up into heaven, swirl the hands the other way, spiraling back down towards earth. So you're setting up that meeting of heaven and earth in every cell, in every gene, in every atom of your being. Let's do one more. And smile and breathe. Every atom of my being. Gather in, hand over hand. Feel comfortable. Release your shoulders. So when I say feel comfortable, you might wriggle your toes, your feet are on the earth, your shoulders are wide, your ankles, knees, hips soft, spine long. If you were wearing a crown, the light could come through the crown, through your whole body. It would be a column, a river of chi from your crown to below your footprints. Smile. Release the shoulders. Breathe out through the palms. The next form, form 4, is for the upper body. I'm just going to get a visual aid. It's a beautiful tiny bobble hat that someone knitted for the Buddha that's in the front of my car. Quite a lot of you probably know how to make a bobble. If you don't, I'll tell you. You wind a lot of wool and then you tie very tightly a band around that wool, which keeps the bobble, the wool all in the bobble, and then it opens out like a ball. The Dai Mai, which we're just about to activate in form 4, is like the bit of string right in the middle of the bobble. It keeps all this chi inside our body. So Dai, I mean, it's often called the waist or the belt meridian. And I think of it like an obi, like a big silk belt on a kimono, or like a wrestler's belt. It's a big wide belt of chi. Through the gap between the hips and the waist, and wide again at the back. Includes wing men. Okay, form 4. Breathe out, gather in. Little aside there for our Dai Mai. Dai actually means great. Mai means meridian. So the great meridian. Hands come to the belly. Oh, we haven't done the turning the feet out with words. I did it, but standing in your neutral position, turn your toes out and then your heels out. So you're in a slightly wider stance. You're going to have an even wider one in a moment. Cup the hands. The lower hand goes down into the earth, gathers the chi. connects to heaven, gathers the chi, holding a ball of chi, a strong, beautiful earth and heaven chi. You take it around the waist, half the waist, around through the gap to Ming Men. Push down to the tailbone. Big breath in, scooping from the horizon to the elbow, tap the elbow, open. Big breath in, gather to the lungs and center that chi. Same thing the other side, of course. Gathering chi, activating the Dai Mai, the strands of chi through your bobble hat, through your bobble on your bobble hat. And center. And make yourself laugh and then cough. Form 4. For the arms, for the waist, for the lungs, for the heart. Scooping chi, bringing it round the waist, activate Ming Men again. Breathe in, scooping chi. I've got a beautiful bit of sunshine on her down. Have some of that into the lungs. So from the lungs, the hands go along the clavicle, from that bit at the top of the bottom of the throat, top of the chest, down the midline, through the heart, down the midline, through the diaphragm, back to the lower dantian. Let's do one more pair. Form 4. For the upper body. Gather in. So when you feel ready, have a sense of that whole waist, maybe gathering into the lower dantian. Step back to your easy position. Release your shoulders. Breathing out through the palms, small circular breathing. So the next form 5, is for the legs. And so it's appropriate we just talk a little bit about the feet. Heather, you probably remember the guy who did the Aikido with us, Dan. He taught something that I believe is based on the great cycler breathing. If this is all new, just stay with breathing out down your arms out through the palms. If you feel comfortable with that, you could also breathe out through the feet. So breathing in, something comes maybe up the back of the legs, up the bones, up the spine. Breathe out down the arms and down the legs, out through the hands and the feet. The great cycle of breathing. If that's too complicated, just breathe in, have a sense of breathing into the core. Breathe out, soften the shoulders, breathe out down the arms, out through the palace of calm. And smile. And breathe. And for me, I've had a very busy day today. For me, leaning back is a good thing to do. For you, do whatever feels that it's going to make you most in the moment. I just mentioned Qigong forms are just an infrastructure for getting us so that the Qi, so that the body, the Qi, and the spirit are all in harmony. So what do you need to do to let that happen? So partly for me is letting go of the mind. So leaning back is quite a good physical way to do that. Mind and heart connecting. Mind and feet connecting. You can't see my feet, but I've been wriggling my toes quite a lot while I've been doing this. Just that sort of coming into the ground. I wish I was on your beach, Alison. Smile. Breathe. And the next time you breathe out, we're gathering chi to the center, hand over hand on the dantian. I'm going to point my left toes, sort of 45 degrees. Open the arms wide. Imagine scooping in earth chi. If you were more gathering up the grass cuttings or something, but really lovely herbs, Push down the leg. Push down as far as you can reach. I'm just going to below my knee. But you can, if you can reach all the way to the toes, great. But you imagine the chi coming out the ends of the toes into the earth. Coming under the foot, up the back of the leg, back of the knee, back of the leg, into the tailbone. Same thing the other side. Part 1, gather the chi, push down the front of the leg. And it's a chance to do a little bit of self-massage. Really pay attention to your legs, up the back of the leg, into the tailbone, winding the chi into the hips. Part 2, we don't touch the body. We reach out, we gather chi. This time it's more the chi of trees. Gather that in. Hold the fingertips, stretch. One elbow up, one elbow down. And not quite touching. We're just skimming the very surface of the clothes. The very first layer of the aura. Push down as far as you can, smoothing it out. Up the inside leg, into the belly. Same thing this side, part 2. Stretch, activating the side, the wood meridians, smoothing out the aura. The wood has a tendency to have little stuck bits in it. Right, part 1, open wide, gather chi, activating earth, connecting deep into the earth, activating water up through the bubbling spring into the bones. Part 1. Part 2, open, stretch, not quite touching, in the etheric layer. Sometimes I think about the hedge, the cat coming through the hedge backwards and its fur is all stuck up. So here we go, we gather loads of lovely chi. We polish down the outside of the leg. We gather up the inside, not quite touching the leg, smoothing out the aura. Let's go around that whole thing once more. Front and back of the leg. Think deep into the earth. Hands reach out. Stretch. Sides of the leg. Smoothing out the aura. Stretch. When you're ready, maybe walk a little bit on the spot. Really feel the trackways in the legs strong. So something down the front of the legs into the earth. Something up the back of the legs. Up the spine. Sides, beautifully preened fur. Release the shoulders. Small cycle of breathing. Breathing out through the palms. Feel your feet on the earth. Smile. Breathe. I sort of rushed into this at the beginning as well. I said there's no warm-ups, which there isn't, but there's another little exercise before you go into the breathing, which is to look out of your eyes, see what you can see. If you can see something lovely, and allow that to inspire you, or use your imagination. Imagine looking at something in nature that gives you chi. And on my bookshelf above my computer, I've got a badly drawn drawing of my friend's garden in France. And from her garden, you could just about see the snowy Alps when I went earlier. And the air there was so fresh. So I'm going to imagine I can breathe that in. Breathe, so the mind and the breath working together to enhance my chi. Breathing the snowy mountain Alpen air up the spine, softening the shoulders, breathe out through the palms. Maybe breathing out through the soles of the feet. Smile and breathe. And one more, really easy breath, breathing out through the palms. Hold the chi in the palms. If you're imagining those lotus chakras, 2 hands full of chi. I'm going to gather that in. I'm going to place it in the belly. So underneath my hand, sort of between Ming Men and the front of the body, a beautiful light, a feeling of chi, whatever it is for you. Sometimes with this form, I imagine a sparkler. Okay, I'm going to go if I was standing on a clock, I'm going to go anti-clockwise, but really go which way ever feels easiest for you, because we're going to go the other way. But as we go out, we're making each spiral a little bit bigger. Top of the head still connects to heaven. It's not the head doesn't go leaning forward and back. Feet still connected to earth. And just making this movement. So we're activating the dantian in the hip bowl. We're activating the dantian so it's dancing. Sometimes I think of sparklers here, getting the light of the dantian bright. And it's even coming out of the body, starting to connect with per down or whatever works for you. And I'm probably about only halfway. If you're doing your own counting, that's wonderful. So I'm going to call that 21. And if you're doing it slower, just take the time and overlap us. 30. Really as big as you can make. Giant that big this week. And when you're ready, as big as you can and as slow as you can, start going the other way. If it's cronky, if it hurts, just don't do it. Make it smaller and easier. And then winding in. You're bringing the chi from where the heaven and the earth meet deep into your lower dantian. Winding the bobbin. Spiraling that in. Condensing pure light into a crystal deep inside you. Find an image or a feeling that works. And ideally, I should have said this a little while back, you're counting backwards. So I'm going to go 18, 17, 16. Apparently, counting backwards helps with the contracting of the chi. So we're really saving it in the lower dantian. That's 9, 8. Sometimes I can count them better backwards than I count forwards. And a few really small ones as I condense that right into the lower dantian. Take your time if you need more time. If you're ready, gather that in. So there's a circling, hand over hand, really having a sense of that storehouse, the dantian, the storehouse of chi for the physical body in your hip chalice. Release the shoulders, breathing out down the arms, out through the palms. Smile and breathe, of course. So dantian 1. The next form is for the heart, the middle dantian, and it's our exciting one. This is one I tend to do a little bit too long if I'm showing off in public somewhere. Not so much these days. Breathe out down the arms, out through the palms. Maybe breathe out down the arms and legs, out through the hands and feet. Ooh, some of you got that really well. Smile and breathe. Oh. I'm going to start teaching this in the woods in July. It's really nice to do in the summer because of the standing postures. If it's cold, it's not so appropriate to do standing. Like we're doing right now, breathing out through the palms. When you're ready, breathe out through the palms, gather into the center. And this is your widest horse stance. Step out one side, step out the other side. And it should be wider than form four. Mine's not that wide, really. Cup the hands, soften the knees, scoop from the earth, get the chi blessed by the heavens. Take that in and straight behind you. That was a bit of a bad demo. I'll do it again. Take ball of chi straight behind you, and then out to the side. Move your hips, move your knees, around, behind the head, out to the side again, around to the shoulder. Pause. Just look at the hand maybe, and take the hand forward. If you can, behind the head, but easier to go over the head. Drop the head to the side. Take this ball of chi, try not to drop it, place it in the secret gate behind the heart, in between the scapula. And from the scapula, you drop down to Ming Men. It's a small way, but it's really important. Activating the central channels, activating the Bao Mai, the heart uterus meridian in women. So, ball of chi, straight behind you, around, all around. And then back again, over the head, into the heart, down the central channels, and around the precious girdle vessel. Some people like to do this quite fast. Some people do it quite slow. Just see what suits you. Do not hurt the joints. Loosen up a bit. Hold a bigger ball of chi that's easier to hold. A softer or a tiny pearl that you're not going to drop. Hold the chi in your palm. Swirl it around. Bring it to the secret gate behind the heart. Activate the spine, that little bit of the spine. Activate the waist. So, this form has got many names. It's quite often called the black dragon or the dragon playing with the pearl, dancing with the pearl. Mimi, Mimi calls it the black dragon dancing with the elixir of life. Really important, you don't drop the elixir. You place it in the heart. This is activating all the chi in the body. All your emotional chi, your physical chi that keeps the heart beating, the chi that keeps your guts moving, every cell pulsing. I'm going to do this one and one more pair. Our black dragon, dancing with a pearl. The black dragons are the most healing dragons of all. They come from the depths of the ocean to bring healing to the humans. Activating the Bao Mai, activating the Dai Mai. So, heart uterus meridian and the great meridian. And swirling every joint in the body. Ideally, your toes are moving and everything. When you're ready, gather in. Step in, maybe gather in. Again, have a sense of drawing in. Have a sense of gathering in. Release the shoulders. Small cycle breathing. Soften the shoulders. Breathe out down the arms, out through the palms. And smile. The next form is for the upper dantian, the mind. So usually described as in the top of the head. In terms of chakras, it's a little bit like the third eye and the crown sort of meeting. Though in some chakra systems there are many chakras just in the top of the head, let alone the whole head. So whatever way you can imagine it, somewhere deep in the mind. I usually just say in the mind. So breathe out through the palms and a couple more. Fill your body with breath, particularly the central channels. Soften the shoulders, breathe out through the hands and feet. Breathe out into the hands. Gather that chi, hand over hand in the belly. And then formate for the mind. Hands slide out. Connect to the earth. Ah, the beautiful beach, a tree, the land, something that inspires you. Hands turn up to the heavens, the sunlight, moonlight, starlight, the light of the strawberry moon. Hands come forward, still connecting to heaven. Hands turn over, bring the chi of earth into the mind. I use this diamond, so 4 fingers touching, thumbs touching, sort of focusing the chi into the mind. When we were originally taught it, it went more like the backs of the wrists on the forehead. But someone started doing this funny wriggling the fingers, and there was something on Doctor Who with aliens that looked like that, and we couldn't do it anymore. So if that works for you, that's fine. Hands on the earth. I'll do it in the traditional way. Hands connect to heaven, drawing the chi of heaven and earth forward. Hands turn over, backs of the wrists onto the forehead, receiving the chi into your mind. Hands reach up. We're going to create a lovely ether body or chi body or your chi field around you or your aura. Choose the word that works best for you. It goes deep under your feet and then from your feet up through the legs back into the lower danchen. Upper danchen, lower danchen with a river of chi between them. And then hands on the earth. Palms to heaven. Sunlight, moonlight, starlight, galaxy light. Hands to heaven, hands turn down. Bring the chi of earth and heaven into your mind's eye. And then enfolding the whole of your chi practice. This is our penultimate form. I did toy with missing out the next one, but we won't. Hands connect to heaven. Hands come forward, palms down. Chi into the mind. A big, beautiful chi field stretching around as though you're patching up any holes in the bubble so that your aura is beautifully shiny, just like a bubble, just like one of those huge kids' bubbles. Hands on the earth, bring in everything you need with a completely semi-permeable membrane so you can bring in the chi from heaven, chi from heaven, chi from earth, into the mind, reach up. Let's do one more. Into the mind's eye, and then a beautiful egg shape all around you, deep below the feet. Gather into the belly, release your shoulders. Whatever you've come to with your small cycle of breathing, breathing out through the palms, maybe breathing out through the hands and feet. And smile and breathe. Nothing to do. We've got just over 5 more minutes. So right now, small cycle of breathing. We're purifying the chi. Quiet mind. Breathe in. Pure, clean chi. Makes long life. We use smile, stay young at heart. We are air and light. We are water flowing with the tides. And we're going to do this twice. So the actual form is done all in the mind's eye. So those of you who know it a bit, then maybe try and do it twice with your mind. If you've not done it much or before, place the left hand on the belly, just as a marker. Imagine a beautiful ball of chi in your right hand. This is my right hand. You're going to place that ball of chi, make it big, make it sort of tennis ball size or something like that, into the body, underneath the left hand. So you're pushing a ball of chi in, and your right hand becomes like a magnet. It's going to take that ball of chi just sort of over the wrist of the left hand, down below the left hand, up the right side of the body, so activating all this large intestine over the top of the left hand. That's one. Two, going to go down just a bit bigger, up the right side, sort of really extending this ball of healing chi into the whole of the intestines. Three, up the right side, sending chi and healing and light, unconditional love of the universe. Four, the intestines and all the other organs, the genitals, all the arteries and veins and bits and pieces. Right, five, up the right side. We hit all these organs, the liver, the diaphragm, spleen and stomach, kidneys. And six, we're still getting a bit of the diaphragm and the organs all through that middle. Seven, up the right side, we're getting into the lower lungs, skimming the bottom of the heart, down the left side, across the pelvic floor. Oh, right, up the right side, heart, lungs, down, and number 9, the energy comes up the right side. Take a ball of light to rest at the base of the sacred chimney, at the base of the throat, and then it goes back. So down the right side, up the left side, lungs and heart, and again, a bit lower down, lungs and heart, and again, lungs and heart are starting to connect to the other organs. 5, all the diaphragm, all the organs, and then a bit more the kidneys and the organs, and then we're into the intestines, taking chi to every bit of your body, and the bladder and the genitals and everything. Spiral back, ball of light under the hands. I quite like doing it like that. I've only ever done it on Zoom. Well, no, that's not true. But I started doing it in March 2020. But it seems to be quite a good way to learn. But the actual form is more difficult because it's done with your mind and your chi and your breath and not moving the body. I still sometimes move my knees or move my eyes. So it's quite a good practice in moving the chi. So imagine a ball of light under your hands, those 9 spirals around, up to the throat, 9 spirals back, resting under the hand. People do it in different ways. Some people like to do it fairly quickly. Other people do it with the breath, so that's 18 breaths, so it's quite long, over a minute. So just do what feels like it's the most effective to you. Hopefully you've started. I shall do mine. I do it fairly quickly, not as quick as some people. And already I was just doing a little dip with my knees. So trying to be still in the body, allowing the mind and the chi and the breath to work together to take healing to every cell in the torso, and subsequently up into the head and also down to the arms and legs. Smile and breathe. Let it be your own time frame. If you finish, just stand and breathe. Start to feel the belly breathing. Beautiful. According to my clock, I've got 2 more minutes. I think we actually started the recording about 1:15, so when you're ready, we release. I quite often put in a 3-breath gesture. Gather into your lower dantian, gather into your heart, gather into your mind. Stretch up, laughing Buddha pose. And then this form finishes with gathering the chi inside the skin, gathering the chi into the body. Some people say brushing off. Sometimes there's something to brush off. Mostly it's receiving into the body. So brush the hands, palm to palm, between the fingers, sides of the hands. Pick an arm, brush the wrist, the lower arm, the elbow. Trying not to miss out any of the skin under the armpit or around the shoulder. Other arm. The order isn't that important. And when you're ready, up the throat, face, chin, all around the face, ears, eyes, nose, mouth. You could check you've got your jaw released. When you're ready, over the head, down, squeeze the back of the neck, tap the top of the back, brush the top of the head, have a sense of the chi in the mind, the chi in the neck, then the whole of the body, front of the body, sides of the front, front of the sides, the flanks, the mysterious flanks, all of the back that you can reach. When you're ready, a little bit of rubbing the kidneys, rubbing the lower back, rubbing the Ming Men, sort of this sort of jiggling, and then over the buttocks, all of the legs, down the back of the legs, down the back of the knee, right to the ground, up if you can. Otherwise, imagine, if you can't reach, imagine all through the quad, all through the hip joints. Go around that 3 times, up and down the legs. Then you tap the soles of the feet. Tap the soles of the feet. Can't quite do that right now. Do it like this. Walk on the spot. Have a little shake out. Thank you so much. Look at that, exactly 7 o'clock. Blow the candle out to end the form.